So Sanket, welcome and congratulations to you, your colleagues at Intuit. 10 years of being a great place to work. So you are now one of the few great place to work laureates. Help us understand the business model of Intuit in India a little bit more, and then we'll talk about your great place to work journey.
Of course. So Intuit India is a subsidiary organization of Intuit Global, where a large amount of product development happens for Intuit's global products. As you know, the majority of the market for Intuit is the United States, but it's expanding quite rapidly internationally. And in India, the product that exists is a product called QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online is an accounting product, and that's been introduced in India and is getting amazing traction over here. Uh, Fundamentally, the majority of the organization in Intuit India is devoted to product development for global products. Now, when the situation started, there was great concern from entire industry as to how product delivery would happen. We were very used to having the concept of a campus, people coming in, interacting, uh, whiteboarding, coming up with solutions, having supervision at work. So when we go to a model where nobody's at work, how would things happen? And especially when we have such a large young population in India, we're known for that. The average age of the Indian engineer is about 10 years younger than the average age of the US. Will that work really well? And so Prasenjit, what we did was from the very beginning, we put together a task force to make sure that we address the needs of what we call our true north. And our true north at Intuit are our employees. So make sure that the employees have everything they need to be able to do their work from home. And we expected that there might be a lot of hiccups, but honestly, we were pleasantly surprised that within a day or so, we were up and running. And on a daily basis, we were observing the situation and seeing how things were going and making changes or adjusting to whatever the needs would be as the situation happened worldwide. But within a week or so, our productivity was at an all-time high. And I attribute that to our culture because there's a spirit of coming together and there's a spirit of having engineers actually lead the organization. So they were the ones coming up with wonderful ways to actually bring people together, for people to be still engaged with Intuit, engaged with their teams. And as a result of that, morale was still high. Challenges were there, of course. You have people whose children were at home because the schools were closed. And so as meetings were happening, children were running around behind them. Some people would have a pet come in. But that was a time where actually our strong culture and strong values really shone. And let me tell you another example of how we were able to make it a very comfortable way to work. So shortly thereafter, we had various meetings held by senior leaders. And of course, Sasan Gudarzi, who's our CEO, also had a town hall to start off with. And he's had multiple since then, where he was at home and addressing the entire company. And as he's talking, towards the end of his discussion, his daughter's dog comes in and starts licking him. So he picks up the dog and introduces the dog to everybody. So it became okay for people to have some interference because you are at home, you're not in a workplace. But at the same time, with this tolerance, grew an appreciation for what could be achieved. And today, I'm very happy to say that we are really productive working from home.
You know, the amazing thing about Intuit is that we've got some fantastic products. And unlike many other companies, they really don't start with the products, they start with their people. I remember first time I went and the founders had a philosophy. And if I recall, they called it air, water, and food. They said employees are like oxygen. If you don't get it, you die. Customers are like water. You can only survive for so so long if you don't have customers. And shareholders is like food that you can probably stretch a little bit longer. When you came in and you have seen so many other organizations, you have been a veteran in technology, what struck you as different about Intuit? And what do you think are the key reasons why it has been able to sustain its great place to work journey for 10 years or more. And I must tell you, 3,500 plus organizations have attempted it. This year, there are only 12 cumulatively who have actually been able to sustain the Great Place to Work journey for 10 years or more. So what would be your observations?
Um, so, when I joined, I was very skeptical, Prasenjit. I did a lot of research before joining. I asked a lot of people who were ex Intuit to see if I could dig up some dirt because it's important to get a decent understanding. But honestly, nobody ever said anything bad about Intuit. And then upon joining, I truly realized why. First of all, the mission. It's such an amazing mission for a company to power prosperity around the world. Now, most companies have missions, but very few companies have all the employees have a deep empathy and deep understanding of what the mission is. And the master stroke is letting go. By letting go, the best people to affect a culture change, to affect a movement, are the grassroots, right? So have the employees actually take the lead, and we be servant leaders. We be there to help the employees achieve what they would like to do, but give them the empowerment to be able to think great things and actually execute on them. And that's how our entire journey was for the great places to work. At one point in time, employees decided, we love where we work. Why aren't we number one? So then the question was, well, what should we do about it? So we challenged the employees, hey, why don't you take this on and see what we can do? They did. And a year later after that, Prasenjit, as you know very well, we became number one. And post that, there's also an ISB case study that's been done about that entire journey. That's in the Harvard Business Review. But fundamentally, it is about letting go. It's about trusting and respecting what each individual in the company can bring to the table. In fact, in one interview a long time back, Brad had said that we have each and every employee as a leader of the company. And that's how we run it, right? So it's important for employees to feel that it's their company and to be able to affect great things in the company.
You talked about three things. You talked about getting the right understanding for employees. You talked about enabling the employees to be ambassador, and then letting go. Now, they sound very attractive and good in theory, except that most people and most leaders don't have the faintest clue how to go about it. Would you like to spend some time on all the three phases, that how do you give people the right understanding about your culture? And when does the transition from understanding to being a brand ambassador comes? And at what stage could you let go and still run the business in a very profitable manner?
So you have to, as leaders, you have to basically be role models and exemplify what it means to be within a particular culture. And as people come in, they have to truly feel it. As you very well know, I believe it was Maya Angelou who talked about that, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that is what it's all about, Prasenjit. That the employees have to actually feel for the company. They have to feel that, yes, I'm truly a part of this. Our company has a very customer-oriented view of how we go about creating a products, how we go about embracing technologies. And to be able to have that empathy, you truly need to feel for the customer. In the same way, the company actually lives and breathes the true north that I told you about. It is not lip service, it's actually the way we lead things. And people can feel it. And once employees feel that, yes, they are respected and they're a key part of what makes the company tick and successful, things automatically happen. And post that, it's not an effort, it's not an actual program to tell them, hey, you become an ambassador, right? There's no training program for an ambassador, but it's just a question of employees coming up and saying, hey, we would like to be able to retain the small company feel. So on every floor, can we have a few people who, when new people are there or we want some activity, we'll have these people actually carry that on, right? So naturally, the whole ambassadorship concept arose from something like this. And that's the part that's truly sticky because it's a grassroots movement, right? And the transition to letting go was something that emerged from these same folks as well. Like I told you, they were like, my goodness, I'm so proud of my company. Why aren't we number one? And all it was a challenge. Okay, you'd like to be number one, go do it.